Nigga kill over a bitch but let a rat keep his wife.
Shit, this record.
Injustice. If you Google, I didn't defend this so much. I'm picking up in Google when you Google Rick Ross Snitch. I said I was taking up for you like I always do, but they had some paperwork saying you told on the connect in Ohio. You got a case in Ohio? He like, yeah. I called the case. I said, what? I don't know who brought that up. I got to go back and find it. I was still fighting him. I said, bro, in the same paperwork, it had how you got the time off for telling on the police, right? For turning the police in. I said something like, oh, this led to all of this. Gotta be what's real. I said, never knew you had an Ohio case. We tie you up to LA. Don't be FaceTiming me, calling me in the blind. Ain't nothing gonna change. I'm gonna be who I am. Boy, y'all better be careful.
All right, now, Rick, I had Wack100 here recently, and me and him were arguing because he claimed that you had some level of cooperation, which I tried to argue with, but, he seemed to have certain things in mind that I wasn't familiar with. So you actually saw this interview, right?
Yeah, I saw that, man. It was a joke, really. I mean, when you hear people who have never been in a courtroom, when you hear them talk, they don't understand the law at all. And in my opinion, Wack is one of those people who don't understand the law. What he calls cooperation, people who are going to court fighting cases, we call it discrediting police officers. So, and what I mean by that is, first of all, anybody who go to jail is really committing a crime. The first thing they say is, I didn't do it. Even if they did do it, they're gonna say, the police is lying. He planted the, wasn't my, I didn't have a, so all of those are forms of discrediting police officers. So when a police officer gets on the witness stand and they lie, and then you get on the witness stand and you tell them what really happened, that's not cooperation. That's called discrediting police officers.
All right, well, let's go ahead and FaceTime Wack. Let's actually get his take on it in person. I got Freeway Ricky right here, and he wants to address what you said in our last interview.
What up, Wack?
What's up?
What?
Me and a whole lot of beer?
No, I didn't get you in nothing. You brought that up. You should have already known when you bring my name up.
I always defend it. You gotta remember, I know that what you did with the dirty police, we never gave it about that. That's it. So what? Right? But I didn't know nothing about all the plugs and connects in Ohio and some dude in Miami and something they had.
You shouldn't. If you don't know, you shouldn't mention it. We should only speak on stuff we know about.
Okay, so somebody say, and day one, Freeway Rick is Snitch. Hey, listen, bro. All he did was gave up the dirty police who crossed him. That ain't telling. As far as I'm concerned, I always took that stance.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
We ain't talking about that. We talking about he gave up the connect.
The connect told on me. What the f they talking about? They don't read. You got people, you listening to people who don't read and don't know nothing about the law.
Okay.
My connection set me up.
Okay, so I can remember what they was reading. They was reading something, and my man had it, right? And it was something about something in Ohio. You had something going on in Ohio?
I got arrested in Ohio.
Something about Ohio. That other dude named who I didn't heard you mention, that was working with the government, Clinton, whatever that dude name.
Blandon.
Yeah, Blandon allegedly plugged you with somebody in New York, and you gave them up. I don't know. Listen, they reading it.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me tell you something. There's no way possible that there's anybody on the planet that I could have told on that wouldn't have came forward as public as I am right now, that wouldn't come forward and say, hey, Rick told on me. Where he at?
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get what they got, and I'm going to send it to you, because they got it. That's why
Wack just creating content.
They ain't got nothing. They got dreams and lies.
Also says what I've always stood on, which he cleared up.
Dreams and lies.
And yes, And yes, I did stand up in courtroom and tell that Blandon was a lying.
Well, my thing was your time deduction, whatever it was, came from the crooked cop, which I don't give a fuck about that. So what?
That was in my first case.
Yeah, they showed that. I'm like, nah, you see it right there. That
150 people got out of jail from that, including John Boy, Big Puddin', the list go on and on of the people. Jesse from Main Street, Droopy, all them got time reductions when those cops got indicted.
I've always said I support him with that, but it's the other in there. But I never knew nothing about. You know.
But you still don't know nothing about it.
No, they got some paperwork on it.
They ain't got no paperwork. That's make believe. That's cartoon. You shouldn't participate in that kind of. I look at you higher than that.
No, but listen. For one, if I'm a
disappointed in you, Wack.
Like I always been, they put something in front of me, I can't ignore it.
If somebody put something in front of you, it would be public knowledge. It wouldn't have to be something that you have to go and dig up. You should be able to go to Ohio. You can go to Ohio right now and pull up the news article, and what it's gonna tell you is a $10 million man came to town to face trial. That's what it's gonna say.
I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't never dug your stuff. I've always took it for face value. I'm gonna keep it real. Everything I repeat is what I heard you say.
And all you gotta do is pull it up in the newspaper. When I went to court, it was in the newspaper.
Well, no, newspaper, because the newspaper could be manipulated.
But where they gonna get the paperwork from?
Well, all paperwork is public record. You know that, unless it's sealed.
Where they gonna get it from though?
Well, I'm gonna hit dude because 600 them. I'm gonna hit dude and get it.
600 ain't got it. 600 call me all the time. What is you talking about?
Boy,
600 ain't got no. Hold on, let me call 600 right now. Where my phone at?
Because he was there with me when they brought him. Call him. Yeah, he was there with me when they brought him.
He was working with him.
Huh?
He didn't know he was working with him at that time.
Yes, he did.
He told on the. No.
He told on the president.
Listen, don't was some government shit. The police he told on, I believe that's like some Rampart division, like some.
Yeah, that's some CIA dudes.
So I told you after I had that conversation, one of the homies was like, "Ain't no justified snitching." He get out and walk right past it, right? I talked to Big U. He said, "Nah, man, stay away." I talked to another homie, and he like,
you know why Big U said that now?
Okay, so yeah. So look, so I talked to another homie with a little more level-headed. He was like, "Nah, man, he's straight. Them police plant stuff on us, plant boss lie on us and all type of stuff. F them whoop.
Yeah, I don't trip the police person.
But he put himself on the
police.
That's what I'm saying.
Lead to like another operation. I'm gonna say you did bad, but in the paperwork we had read, he had gave statements on
his
blood. That dog dude.
All right, here we go.
You can get that because he was more on their side than my side.
Listen, if it was somebody I told on, they done came public, they done went on blast and say, no, I'm just telling you, use logic sense though. If it was somebody that I had told on, he'd already came public and said that Rick told on me. Just like the dude did with Meech.
It's the Ohio dude and New York dude.
When I went to Ohio, I went to court by myself.
And I guess that other dude was down in Florida at the time. That whatever that weird that black.
And I've never been indicted or nothing in New York.
Nah, it wasn't you was indicted in New York. He had set you up with a plug in New York. And you get 600 on the line. He ain't answering you?
No, he ain't answering. He might answer you. You hit him and see if he answer you.
Hold on. I might can do this, but we all on here. Hold on. Yeah, let's do it because he was in the room. Share.